Allahu Akbar. Or person, but not so long after that, I was able to see what looked like a silhouette of a person walking, only because of the light behind the area. And when I shined Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah.
Jose Flores Terror on YouTube, whose channel is known for venturing into the darkest forests in search of terrifying paranormal activity, shared this scary encounter. He enters one of the most haunted forests in the region, a place where people vanish without a trace. Locals warn of ghostly cries and children's voices that lure travelers deeper, and they never return. After hiking deep in the forest, everywhere was dark, and he was just alone with his flashlight and camera when he began to hear footsteps behind him, as if something was following him.
Es un poquito más como que los árboles entrelazados, un poquito diferente. Ok, se acaban de escuchar pasos atrás de mí. Ay. De repente como si viniera algo atrás de mí porque se siente como una presencia atrás. ¡Ay! ¡Ay!
After hearing so much about the forest, what will you do in that situation? Will you go back before it gets darker? But he didn't go back. After some while, he started hearing some voices whisper in the distance like someone crying. But there's no one around the forest.
Se están escuchando voces. Ay. Ay. Se están escuchando estas voces que parece ser como que vienen hacia acá o están a lo lejos, pero lo extraño es que no puede haber personas acá, no hay personas acá, estoy completamente seguro, o sea, personas físicas no son. Hoy. Hoy. Hoy, 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 otra vez.
This peaceful hike into the forest was one to forget for him. Would you dare stay in this forest, knowing every voice could belong to the dead? The last clip was chilling, but this next one feels like pure nightmare fuel. Before we go any further, I'd like to ask you for a quick favour. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. We're getting closer to 20,000 subscribers, and once we hit that milestone, a few lucky subscribers will receive a special surprise. Now let's go back to the video. This encounter is shared by Danny Adventure 88 on YouTube, a channel known for daring solo explorations and terrifying encounters deep in haunted forests. He went camping deep in central Java's infamous Alas Kunci, where tragedy struck. It is said that a young boy ended his life there just a week ago. The locals talked about Dutch women tortured in these woods, their bodies discarded without graves, and their restless spirits still wandering around the forest. With all this dark history, will you dare camp overnight there? While still being courageous and enjoying his camp without fear, suddenly, he started hearing knocking sounds echoing through the trees. No wind, no movement, just a sound of something he didn't know about. Yet the forest feels alive and heavy.
walaupun mencoba menghiraukan, tapi tetap rasanya tuh aku kepo ke sana itu.
What he's experiencing is definitely not what he had planned when he came. What do you think these wandering spirits of the forest are, or something far darker stalking me tonight? Things only grow darker from here. Brace yourself for what comes next. Jupri Karim's a YouTuber, and he is known for testing his courage by camping in the most haunted, dangerous places at night. He went camping just as he had always camped around many dangerous forests. But this time around, it was terrifying. At first, everything seemed calm, until he began hearing strange movements around the camp. Footsteps, whispers, something circling the tent. Then it appeared. He saw a figure lurking behind the trees, watching him in silence. The moment his flashlight touches it, it disappears seconds later.
Gak tahu teman-teman. Astagfirullahaladzim. Ya teman-teman itu. Kelihatan gak di balik kayu itu? Astagfirullahaladzim, ya Allah. La hawla wa la quwata illa billahi al-'aliyyil 'azim. La hawla wa la quwata illa billahi al-'aliyyil 'azim. La hawla wa la quwata illa billahi al-'aliyyil 'azim. Asal kena lampu senter, dia menghilang teman-teman.
What was that? Is that a ghost watching him? Or some far more mysterious? After seeing this, will you dare camp in this cursed place knowing the darkness itself is alive? But things don't calm down for long. The next story proves that shows that. We got this story from Kuba Mystery on YouTube. He is popular for venturing into haunted places and capturing chilling encounters on camera. This time, Kuba set up camp in a cursed bamboo forest, a place where a man once died tragically after being impaled by a falling branch of a bamboo tree. Locals say his spirits still linger here. Will you dare camp in a place where you don't know what to expect? While eating, he was violently interrupted. Unseen forces attacked, shaking the bamboo and rattling his nerves. He heard the bamboo shaking but could not see anything.
Allahu Akbar. Ini sangat coba penasaran juga sih teman-teman. Ini malah kita kayak seperti diganggu. Tapi nggak tahu juga siapa itu. Apa kita lagi makan? Mereka datang ke sini teman-teman.
Are they trying to scare him away from the forest? Or who or what is disturbing shaking the bamboo? Would you dare camp here alone? Let me know what you guys think. From one frightening moment to the next, this story might be the scariest yet. Got this story from Franco TV on YouTube. He's known for venturing into the world's most haunted places, often alone, and capturing what others are too afraid to witness. This time, he went into a pet cemetery. It was previously a baby cemetery, but later changed to a pet cemetery. As he entered the cemetery, he heard these unexplained bangs and even a rope swinging from a tree. Was this really just a pet cemetery, or something far more sinister? After walking deep into the cemetery, he saw eyes staring at him deep in the trees, but couldn't see them again, so he turned on his thermal so he could check what might be lurking around him. Then he caught a dark figure waving from deep within the trees, human-like.
Here alone, I'm already hearing sounds of banging, of metal clanking on something, but further from in front of me. Wish me luck. I'm excited, scared, nervous. I'm missing home right now. But that being said, let's get into the video. So right now I'm at the cemetery, right in front of me. And with the night vision, look up there. You see that blinking light? This is why cell phones give away your position. But that blinking light is 100% somebody's phone. I thought I saw something else move. That was me, this light here. I hope nobody comes here to do something else. The last time that I was here, I was able to see something on the thermal imaging camera peeking out at me from one of the trees in the darkness. I don't know what the hell that was, whether if that was an animal or a person, but not so long after that, I was able to see what looked like a silhouette of a person walking, only because of the light behind the area. And when I shined the flashlight, nothing was evident. But I want to do another walkthrough of this place. Now, this place is gigantic. Listen. What was that? I just heard something up here. Jesus Christ. I'm already regretting my decision. Is that a rope?
What do you think is waving at him at the cemetery? Is it a ghost or a spirit that has been wandering around the cemetery? Would you dare to spend the night here? From one frightening moment to the next, this story might be the scariest yet. A YouTuber, Skara, who is known for exploring haunted forests across Kalimantan, where storms and myths collide with the unknown, shared this on his channel. He went deep in the jungle and he saw something quite unusual, a house standing alone in the wilderness, where trees and bushes surround everywhere. Who built a home here, in the middle of nowhere? What is the house meant for, because normal people are not meant to live there alone in the forest?
Rumah atau apa ya di bagian kanan gua? Gua trekking di nggak tahu men, ini ada orang sih di sini. Gua nge-trekking hutan belantara di sini men, gak ada tempat terbuka loh. Gak ada tempat terbuka loh. Gua buka satelit beberapa kali di sini, gak ada tempat terbuka seluas ini men di sini.
Then he started smelling cooked food drifting from the trees. Where was it coming from? Suddenly he saw an old woman. She's asking for water. She had human-like feet, yet her presence screamed not human. After he gave her water, she headed back into the forest. Who was she, and what was she doing in the forest at night?
Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Cuk, minta banyu nenek cuk. Ada nek. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Tunggu nek. Permisi nek. Bentar nek. Bentar nek. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Nek, Lun permisi, Nek. Permisi, Nek. Maaf apa yang di sini, Nek? Ngapain di sini, Nek? Ulun permisi, Nek. Pian manusia kah? Lain kan, Nek? Ulun permisi, Nek.
Would you dare keep going deeper after encountering something of such? From eerie to bone-chilling, this next clip drags us even deeper into fear. We got this story from Wandi Sumatra on YouTube, a channel known for venturing deep into haunted forests and capturing encounters that most people would never dare to face. He set up camp far inside the forest, cooked, ate, and finally drifted off to sleep. But sometime after midnight, it began. A strange voice, not human, not an animal, just this eerie, otherworldly sound circling his tent. What kind of creature makes a noise like that in the dead of night? Terrified, he forced himself awake and stepped outside, scanning the darkness. That's when he saw it, a ghostly figure, pale and still, staring straight at him, its body unmoving, its eyes fixed.
Astaghfirullah. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah.
What was this thing? A restless spirit of the forest? A demon in disguise? Or something older watching from the shadows? If it were you, would you investigate? Or run for your life? If your skin wasn't crawling already, it definitely will after this. Urban Ghosts on YouTube, his channel, is known for exploring some of the most terrifying haunted places in America. And in this video, things in the Devil's Forest took a chilling turn. He hiked deep into the woods alone at night. Suddenly, his spirit talker app whispered, "There's a priest." What does that mean? A priest? Out here, in the middle of nowhere? Is it trying to warn him not to go further, that there is danger at the front?
Hello? Hello?
Others are scared.
Others are scared? Well, don't be scared. I swear I heard somebody running. Or something.
There's a priest.
Where?
And just when it seemed the forest had gone quiet, he heard a voice around him that came from behind, so close it made his blood run cold, alone in the woods with just his touch and spirit talker app, using it to communicate through his phone.
As much as I've been in the woods, I still can't ever remember what the heck poison ivy looks like. I always gotta Google it. Heck, I grew up in the woods. I heard something over here. Are you over there? Whoa.
You are authentic.
I appreciate that. I swear. Something, as soon as I turned this way, I heard a voice right behind me. Right over here.
Was he really alone in the forest? Would you dare to stand in the Devil's Forest after dark? Hangboner TV, a channel known for paranormal activities and exploring some other random stuff. In this video, he explored an abandoned mining village in Japan, a place steeped in tragedy and rumoured to be haunted. He spotted a lone figure standing by a pole, but when he waved, the man bolted unnaturally fast into the woods. Who was he? A villager or something else?
Alright, that was really friggin' weird. So, I was coming around this bend, and there was somebody standing there. I swear, someone's just standing there right at that orange pole thing, and I waved to him, and then for some reason he just took off all the way down there. I have no idea why. Well, that was weird. Hello? I have not been down there yet. It's also kind of strange how there's just this random flat area. Thought I heard something. Kind of nervous about going down there. Like, who the hell did I just see?
Moments later, a voice echoed in the woods. He called out, but no one answered. Would you have stayed or run back to the car? Then, a little rock was hit against his vehicle. No one was around. Was it a warning?
But yeah, like there's literally very little tread on the outs. The hell was that? Someone just literally hit the car. It almost sounded like somebody threw a rock at my car. What the f***? Okay, something really weird is going on. Hello? Can you not do that, please?
Finally, his light cut out by itself right after the spirit box whispered locked. Coincidence or proof the dead still walk here?
So that way we can chill here for a little bit. Not too long, but I'm just curious as to who the hell that person was that ran off into the woods. Like, are they actually living out there? Whoa. The light just went out. Did you do that? The hell?
Some places never let go of their shadows, but things don't calm down for long. The next story proves that shows that. A YouTuber, Moxley's Paranormal World, who is known for his terrifying solo investigation in the dark and the most haunted places imaginable, shared this scary encounter. He ventures deep into a forest whispered to be home to the Dogman, a cryptid said to terrify anyone foolish enough to wander in alone at night. While walking around the forest, branches snap in the distance, voices come through the spirit box, chilling words like optimism and Jordan. Imagine standing there alone when the device suddenly blurts. A girl was killed. In the night, alone by yourself, hearing these strange words, what's your next move?
You show yourself.
A woman here.
Oh, every noise has got me on edge. A woman here. Is she here with me now?
A girl was killed.
A girl was killed. Okay.
Photo.
Photo.
We don't mean harm.
You don't mean harm. There has been a lot of...
I feel lost.
You feel lost? Are people mistaking your presence for somebody who needs some help?
Choose.
Choose. Right, it said church. Look at this, what I've just found.
Watch what I do.
Watch what I do. Are you going to do something for me? I'm literally trying to take a little bit of cover just here at these trees, because that wind was absolutely picking up. The trees above me were just going like this.
Many words kept coming out of the spirit talker devices. Would you keep walking or run? Then words like, have been here for a century, I was burned. Does that mean the spirit has been lurking here for centuries? What would you do? Keep pushing forward or escape before it's too late? Things only grow darker from here. Brace yourself for what comes next. We got this story from Midwest Ghost Hunters on YouTube, a channel well known for its terrifying explorations of haunted places where the line between the living and the dead often blurs. His journey begins at the Red Bridge, haunted by the spirit of a woman who drove off and died. Legend says if you stop your car, her ghost appears and you'll never start it again. Some even claim she pushes cars off the bridge, leaving behind her ghostly handprints. Suddenly, branches move on command, not the wind, but as if something unseen is answering. Imagine asking a spirit to show itself, and the trees obey. What are you doing next?
Ma'am, could you show yourself on this bridge? Oh, whoa. What the? Whoa, that bridge just moved. I might be going crazy, but I saw that branch over there start swaying back and forth. I know it's windy, but it isn't that windy. Okay, I gotta check this out. It was this one, right here. Holy crap! Okay.
He then saw a shadow in a mist form. Then a woman's voice echoed beneath the bridge, whispering for help. His entire body tingles as if the air itself is alive. Is it true that ghosts truly haunt people? Would you dare cross that bridge alone?
Whoa. I think I got something in that one. I caught another one. Whoa. There's a freaking mist right over here. And it's gone now. It's completely gone. Whoa. Holy moly. It was just right over here. And now it's completely gone. I got a weird feeling over here. I'm getting like a tingly feeling in my whole body. Whoa! I just heard a woman's voice. I couldn't tell what she said, but it sounded like it came from, like, under the bridge. Hello there. I heard you loud and clear. Are you underneath this bridge? I'm gonna try to get as far down here as I can.
The last clip was chilling, but this next one feels like pure nightmare fuel. Chussa Chad on YouTube shares this terrifying encounter in the woods. He's known for going to haunted, abandoned, and mysterious places, and trust me, this one will make your skin crawl. He slips into the park after midnight. The gates are locked, the warning signs scattered everywhere, but curiosity pushes him forward. The The trail twists, the night air heavy, almost suffocating. Suddenly, movement. A shadow darts across his path. Too quick for a person, too solid for a trick of the light. Was something following him? On the ground, a flashlight still glowing, a number scratched into its side. Who left it there? And why does it feel like a warning?
Yo! Yo, look. Let me turn my light off. Look, there's a flashlight that's on. That's just sitting right here. What the hell? There's just a flashlight sitting here. Okay, what the hell? It has number 7 on it. Or an L? Or a 1? Or something? I don't know. Looks like a 7 to me. Okay, that's really weird. That's weird. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna leave that. I don't know what is going on with that. But, okay, look at where I am, dude. I walked kind of far back here.
He sensed there was someone in the woods, but nothing was visible to him. He heard a voice, but when he spoke, nobody has responded. Are they trying to lure him into the forest? If this were you, would you dare take another step deeper? Or would you run before the forest swallows you whole? If your skin wasn't crawling already, it definitely will after this. We got this story from Urban Ghosts on YouTube, a channel known for diving deep into the world's creepiest, most haunted places. This time, the adventure took him into the Clemson Experimental Forest, a place surrounded by unmarked graves and whispers of restless spirits. He hiked deep into the woods, no flashlight, only darkness closing in, not knowing what to expect. Will you dare hike alone at night with no flashlight to see what is going on around you? Suddenly, the Spirit Talker app lit up with a chilling message. Fail. Stay out of the forest.
But it is so cool. Words cannot describe how eerie it is out here. And the feeling. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It said fail and stay out of the forest. Holy crap. Oh, my noise was off. Why don't you want me in the forest? Huh? Other people come out here and have a good time. Why can't I be here? Is it because I'm doing what I'm doing? Well, don't be shy now. Come on. I'll put my tripod down for a second. Because I just got those hits. Let's see if we get anything else right here.
Who was warning him, and why? After being warned to stay out of the forest by a spirit app, will you want to go further? Nobody knows what to expect in the forest after being warned not to go. From eerie to bone-chilling, this next clip drags us even deeper into fear. We got this story from Franco TV on YouTube, a channel known for solo explorations into places where fear feels alive. It's pitch black 11:31 p.m, the same time strange things happened here before. He steps into the Skinwalker ranch. Out of nowhere, 2 glowing lights pierce through the darkness in the distance. They don't move like an animal. They don't shine like anything human. Just hovering there, silent, watching.
Right now I have my IR light on. There it is. There it is. I see you. Oh, what the fuck Yo, I thought there was like people in the trees. Look at that. There it is. Oh my god, that thing is tall. I want to see if I could walk inside. I don't even want to walk inside, to be honest. But I'm going to see if I could get a little bit closer to see what the hell those eyes are. Fuck. Did it move? I did hear like a snapping of wood. Hola! Oh shit. Fuck was that? There's definitely somebody in there. I don't know what the fuck that was. But that definitely sounded human.
What do you think that was? Could it be something, or someone placed it there to keep an eye on the forest? Would you keep walking, or turn back before it finds you? But things don't calm down for long. The next story proves that. We got this story from Black Mass Paranormal on YouTube, a channel known for exploring the darkest corners of Appalachia, where legends are said to walk in the night. He was hiking deep in the forest when he froze in his tracks. Standing right in the middle of the trail was what he called a baby squatch, upright, motionless, its dark eyes locked on him. Just imagine. You're alone in the woods, and something like that is watching you.
Base of this trail. And he's just as confused as I am. That is a baby squatch standing in the trail. Look at that. He's like frozen, standing straight up. I'm looking at him and I'm wandering off.
But here's the real question. If the baby is here, could the mother be hiding close by, silently observing? What happens if that baby lets out a cry, and the mother decides to strike? Imagine being in the forest surrounded by animals you don't know, the version of them you're facing. Would you dare keep going, or run before the Dogman finds you? From one frightening moment to the next, this story might be the scariest yet. This story comes from a Reddit user who was hiking deep in Algonquin Park when she stumbled upon something truly unsettling. She captioned it, "Creepiest thing I've come across in the Algonquin backcountry."
I'm not going any farther, but...
Hidden beneath the forest floor was what looked like the remains of an old cellar, the ruins of a long-forgotten cabin that had collapsed. The ground itself seemed to swallow the whole structure, leaving behind nothing but shadows and mystery. Old, rusted objects were scattered outside. Iron tools, twisted and unrecognizable, as if abandoned in a hurry. Who left them there? And why was this place left to rot in silence? Imagine being alone, miles away from civilization, and suddenly discovering a crumbling cellar in the middle of the woods. Was it just history? Or is there something more sinister still lurking beneath the earth? From eerie to bone-chilling, this next clip drags us even deeper into fear. This video was uploaded by Rugged Road Explorers on YouTube. He is known for hiking deep into the remote regions of the Rocky Mountains and the vast deserts of the American Southwest. He shared this unsettling journey that caught attention. It started normally. He was making his way along a cliffside in southeast Utah searching for ruins. But then, something strange appeared. Clear in the dirt, a massive track too large to dismiss. Was it a panther or something far stranger?
The reason I slowed down is because, check it out. Right here, I don't know if you can see it. That's a panther track right there. Alright. I like being up top where I've got a lot of clear area to see. This is getting tight in here.
Deep in the ruins, silence fell heavy. The place was too tight, but he kept pushing forward. A dead rat lay in the shadows, a warning of something lurking nearby. Would you keep going after seeing that, or turn back immediately? Then, he captured something even creepier. Old handprints covering the walls. Whose hands were those? Ancient dwellers? Or something still haunting these cliffs?
Oh, look at the handprints. Hold on, I gotta zoom in for you guys. That's pretty awesome, and they really, really show up. Look at that. All over the wall there. Well, they really took the time to smooth out the inside.
What do you think? Was this simply history preserved, or something alive in the ruins? Some places never stop watching you.
This person was hiking along a dangerous trail in China when disaster almost struck. One wrong step and they nearly slipped off the edge of the cliff. The heart-stopping moment was caught on camera as they struggled to regain balance, clinging to life by just a second. Imagine standing there, the ground crumbling beneath your feet, nothing but a deadly drop below. What would you do? Would you freeze, fight to climb back, or accept the fall? Have you ever been in a moment where your life flashed before your eyes? Sometimes the difference between life and death is just one step. When they were climbing the mountain, they stumbled upon a black, open pit. Curiosity got the better of them. They bound a rope, tested it, and began going down. As the rope was spilling out, they saw something unbelievable.
Dude.
It's pretty spacious in there.
Yeah, it gets huge, and it just drops off straight down 150 feet. Oh. See ya, man. Bye. That is crazy. Oh. Wow. Look at this, guys. Oh, there's a whole stream down there. Oh.
The cave dropped about 1,500 feet directly downwards. But they went on. The air grew colder, the light vanished, until finally they hit firm ground. Much to their surprise, a hidden river flowed deep beneath the mountain, its water glowing faintly in the darkness, as if holding something back. Why would the cave be so deep? What is it down there? Is it just the river or something more mysterious? If you were the person who stood at the edge, would you climb on into the unknown? He was riding deep into the forest, the air quiet, the trees standing over him like unblinking sentinels, and then his tire slid and he crashed violently onto the ground. The quiet was broken by the noise of his crash. But here's what's really scary. Right after he crashed, he could have sworn he heard the sound of footsteps circling through the trees, although he was by himself. The forest grew darker, colder, and all the shadows seemed to stir to life. What did you suspect was lurking inside those woods? Was it just the woods playing tricks on you, or something else lurking, waiting to be discovered by him? If you were injured alone in the middle of nowhere, how would you get up knowing that something invisible is likely watching you? High above the ground, with nothing but clouds and thin air beneath, this man stepped onto the infamous Mount Huashan plank walk, often called the world's most dangerous hike. Just imagine it. A few wooden planks bolted to the side of a cliff, swaying slightly, held only by a chain clipped to his harness. One wrong step, one slip of the foot, and it's a 2,000-foot drop into nothingness. His hands trembled as he gripped the rock wall, inching forward, the wind howling in his ears. Every heartbeat felt louder than the echoes of the mountain itself. Would you dare take this walk? Could you trust those old planks with your life? Or would you freeze halfway across knowing there's no turning back? This person was alone in his house when it began. A voice calling his name. He had thought initially it was just in his head until the voice grew louder, clearer, and his own voice echoes him from the second floor of his house, his heart squeezed up tight, terror creeping in with every iteration. He stood there, straining to hear, his heart racing. The voice called out again, precisely like his, but deeper, colder.
I heard someone is calling me, but I'm alone in my home. Like मेरे घर में कोई भी नहीं है अभी. कौन? रोहान तुम हो? क्या हुआ? हाँ? तुम नीचे आओ. तुम नीचे आ जाओ रोहान. नीचे क्यों नहीं आना? क्यों? बकवास बंद करो अपनी. कौन था? बोलो. रूम में है ना कोई? मेरी एक बार अपने जेब में. Okay, bye. I don't know what it is, but okay, bye.
Who do you think was shouting his name in the house? A ghost, a demon, or something worse? What would you do if it were your own voice answering back to you in the shadows? Would you run out of the house, meet it head on, or pray that it stays behind? Because sometimes, the scariest voice you hear is your own. On a snow-covered mountain slope, the camera captures a hair-stopping moment. A man does an unexpected loss of control and goes zip-whizzing down toward a lethal cliff edge. Seconds before impact, a man in a yellow zip jacket appears out of nowhere. He dashes into the scene and tackles the ground, catching hold of the plummeting man's arm and holding tight for all he's worth. The wave sucks them both under, but he won't let go. Before you can say anything, in a split second, other people run there to help and pull the man back from certain doom. What would you do in that moment? Can you keep your grip? Imagine you're sleeping in a campground inside an abandoned building deep in the woods. It's dark, the air is cold, and you step out onto the balcony just to catch a glimpse of fresh air. And then you freeze, deep in the dark row of trees. Two shining eyes are staring at you. They don't blink. They don't change. They just stare.
The fuck is that? The fuck is that in the woods? Hello? Hello?
What would you do at that moment? Are those animal eyes or something much more alien? Is it a ghost, a spirit, or some kind of unexplainable creature? Would you be strong enough to meet its stare or run and hide inside? So I ask you, if you were there, alone in that silence, what would your brain let your mind believe those eyes belong to? It was supposed to be a quiet afternoon in the forest, but suddenly his tent shook violently. A bear was right outside, sniffing, pawing, and pressing against the fabric. Alone, trapped inside, his heart pounded louder than the rustling trees. Luckily, the bear wasn't there to hunt. It was just curious, circling, as if greeting him in its own terrifying way. After a few tense minutes, it wandered off, leaving him shaken but alive. But imagine if that bear had truly meant business. What do you think would have happened? Would he have stood a chance to fight back, or would it have been over in seconds? And would you ever risk camping alone after an encounter like this? He walked slowly to the riverbank, the moonlight silvering ripples on the water. But then, something strange arrested his notice. A conclave of tortoises had formed, a faultless one in the shallow part of the river. Inside the ring were 3 small tortoises who remained still, as if under guard or siege. The water about them seemed to ripple in rhythms, as if some hidden ceremony was being carried out. He remained stationary, whether to advance one step more or turn tail. What was he doing here? Were the tortoises protecting the smaller ones, or up to something mysterious? Would you take the risk and step in, or simply wait outside in concealment, if in his place? This was supposed to be a peaceful journey, but it turned into a nightmare. To begin with, in the dead of night, there came a massive branch from a tree falling straight on top of his tent, ripping it wide apart. Heart racing, he got out of there, thankful to be alive. But fate wasn't finished yet. On the trek down from the mountain, he slipped on a rock and heard a sharp crack. He had ripped one of the ligaments in his ankle. Pain ran through his system with every step, and then suddenly the trip was a battle to even escape alive. Has there ever been a trip that went completely wrong for you? Would you have still kept pushing through the pain that he did, or would you have pulled over and waited for help? The shock of his lifetime came the day he chose to hike alone. What was initially an adventure turned into a nightmarish experience. Far in the middle of a snow forest, the silence was creepy. No voices, no tracks, just the sound of his boots crunching into the white ground. Then, in an instant, he was lost. He wandered in a circle for over an hour, looking for a path down, each tree the same, each trail a dead end. The cold nipped at his skin, and terror screamed louder with every second. Would you ever dare to hike by yourself in this kind of weather? If you were stranded like he was, would you keep traveling or stay still and hope to be rescued? It was while on a solo hike in the mountains of Cabo San Lucas that something unusual caught his eye. In the distance, coming outside of the rock, was a giant figure, too large, too fast, and too strange to be human. Its shadow was elongated in the sun, its movements deliberate, almost as if it knew it was being watched. He froze, heart pounding. Could it be? The locals talk about legends in whispers, but there he stood, staring at what looked like the Mexican Sasquatch. Do you think these creatures actually exist, or was it just a trick of the light? If you were in his shoes, would you grab a camera, get a closer look, or run in the other direction? He walked deep into the woods and climbed deep into a tree, hidden in the leaves. Down below, a lone coyote was quiet, watchful, and wandered the clearing. From up high, he whispered, just to play tricks on his mind, to test if the animal would hear him. The yote hesitated, twitching ears, sniffing nose, attempting to find the sound. What do you think the coyote would do if it realized the sound was coming from right above its head? And what if he had hissed from below in the woods? Would the coyote pounce, creep, or simply vanish into the night? It was supposed to be a quiet night of camping, but it was the night of horror in his life. The fire was low, the forest quiet, when abruptly a voice pierced the blackness. The cry rang out through the trees, rasping, ghostly, and not quite human. He remained still where he was, his heart pounding, frozen between fear and morbid fascination. Was it really a person in distress or something trying to coax him out? The voice kept calling, moving closer and closer, like it could identify his exact location on the ground. What would you do, staying hidden in the tent? This family was out enjoying a peaceful picnic, laughter filling the air, when out of nowhere, a wild bear wandered straight into their campsite. Without hesitation, the bear went straight for the food table, sniffing, pawing, and helping itself like it owned the place. The family froze, hearts pounding, but they reacted perfectly calm, quiet, and slowly backed away to give the animal space. Thankfully, no one was harmed, though the bear clearly had a feast. What do you think was going through their minds at that moment? Fear, shock, or disbelief? If you were there, would you try to scare the bear away, grab the food, or just let it eat and hope it leaves peacefully? What an odd encounter this was. He was deep in the forest, creeping stealthily, when suddenly something shifted. Between the trees, a huge, shadowy form moved steadily, its massive body unfamiliar to him in any way. His own breath was short in his throat. The creature walked deliberately, crushing footsteps through the leaves, but never once looking back in his direction.
What in the world is that thing?
Others say what he saw might have been Bigfoot, while others would call it something else entirely. You were the one who just so happened to be there. Would you find it and go get the truth, or run in the other direction? Do you think creatures like Bigfoot exist? Are they nothing more than myths around campfires? While this person was hiking through the tall mountains of Kyrgyzstan, he was shocked by a thunderous noise. The ground trembled as a mass of snow tumbled down the mountain. Ice and snow fell with merciless intensity, tearing down everything in its way. Instead of panicking, he kept his cool, wedging himself tightly beneath a shelf of rock, heart pounding as torrents of white rushed past. Minutes felt like hours until the commotion finally died down, making way for silence, and the sight of his breath in the cold air. He had just survived nature's raw fury. What would you have done in his place? Run, freeze, or hide? Would you be that calm, staring up at a moving wall of snow? And would you ever have the courage to hike those mountains again after going through something like that? Two lads were cycling through the forest, wheels squelching through leaves, laughing between the trees, when a colossal bear stepped out of nowhere.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hey, 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 get back.
It was rushing at them, its roar shaking the stillness. Panic gripped them, but one of the lads acted fast, shouting, waving, and being able to scare the bear off before it was close to them. The danger was over in an instant, but their hearts were pounding away. Now imagine this. If he hadn't reacted immediately, What do you think would have occurred? Would they have been able to outrun a bear on their bicycle? Or would the forest have turned into their worst nightmare? Do you think you'd be calm in such a situation? Or would fear completely override your better judgment? After an exhausting, long mountain climb, he finally made it back to where he had left his car alone on a solitary mountain road. But as he approached, he stood frozen. There, stretched out beside his car as if it belonged to it, was a mountain lion. Its sun-flicked golden eyes, tail switching lazily, muscles coiled with latent strength. He knew one step wrong and inquisitiveness would turn into a hazard. The car, his path to freedom, sat only steps away, but wholly out of the question. What would you do in that case? Ride it out, try to scare it off, or venture in closer? And do you think the mountain lion was standing guard over the vehicle, or standing watch over him? A couple headed out on a walk through the wild beauty of the Everglades, air thick and still, when they spotted something awful: alligators. Dozens of them, half submerged along the beaches, their muzzles just high enough above to be seen, watching, not charging, just waiting, still as statues of danger.
You should be one of those people that hike with a big gigantic stick, because that's what the people who are scared of gators do. Just keep walking normal.
That is giant.
Yeah.
The couple softly counted them one at a time, each step more hesitant than the last. But the thought gnawed at them. What if they or some of them decided to attack? Out here, it would not be funny whatsoever. Would you feel courageous to continue predators closing in on you? Do you think the gators were steering clear of them or patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce? And how many would you count before returning? He was bicycling down the serpentine cliffside, gusts pounding him, rock eroding at the edges. Suddenly it was happening. His tires slipped, and he went careening over the edge of the mountain. In the instant of raw fear, fate intervened. A cluster of trees clinging to the cliffside snagged him, holding him fast, saving his life. Pumping with terror, he realized how close he had come to falling into the depths below. What would have happened to him if there had not been those trees? Would he have stood any chance whatsoever? Or was this just pure destiny? Would you ever ride this close to the edge if one wrong move would mean losing everything? Sometimes survival is nothing but grace disguised as luck. He stepped into the haunted house, the earth groaning underfoot, the stillness thick in the air. On the wall, contrasting with the cracked paint, bloody fingerprints were smudged fresh, glistening. Every sense yelled at him to go away, yet curiosity held him spellbound. And then, just a few meters ahead of him, a shape materialized, dark, misshapen, with a single glittering eye trained on him.
Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un encore qui habite ici? Waouh, l'état de la cave. C'est quoi ça?
It drew closer, faster, as if to attack. His courage lost, he screamed and made a run for the door, heart racing like never before. What do you think that figure was? Ghost? A demon? Or something else entirely? Would you have stayed to discover the truth, or run away just like him? Fear is the price curiosity often demands. This man was prowling through the forest, quietly probing, when his ears were caught by something amiss, a group of toadstools growing near the base of some cottonwoods. Curious, he crept closer to inspect. But no sooner did he bend than a harsh, strange sound erupted from within the woods.
And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
It was not man's, but not that of any creature he was familiar with either. The scream was shrill, ghostly, like a warning. His heart constricted, a chill sliding down his spine. He turned immediately and departed in a rush, pounding heart. Was the scream protecting the mushrooms, or was it calling him deeper into the forest? What do you think the sound was being made by? An animal? A spirit? Or something unknown? Some friends were hiking, a laughter refrain ringing out along the forest trail until they suddenly stopped. In front of them lay a creepy clearing, the air colder, thicker, as if whatever dwelled here did not desire to witness them. In the middle were strange shapes, mounded figures covered in cloth, placed as if the deceased. Bushes surrounded the area like walls, trapping the scene in macabre stillness. In broad daylight, it was frightening enough. Imagine what this place would be like at night. Would you move further in or turn around immediately? Do you think this was merely discarded trash or an area where spirits reside? Not every road in the woods is intended to be taken. 3 friends embarked on a midnight hike, joking, snapping pictures, and filming in the moon's dim light. All of this was exciting until the forest grew quiet. A strange voice called out in the darkness. It wasn't clear whether it was a cry for help, mumbling, or chanting, but it sent shivers down their spines.
I'm going first.
Oh, nah, go first. I'm about to take a picture. You gotta be lower.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh, it's about to catch something. Y'all ready to go back?
Their giggles stopped and were replaced with nervous silence. Fear took hold of them as the voice drew nearer, as if it knew where they were. What do you believe this voice is? A lost spirit, a ghost, or something evil? Would you continue hiking or flee for your life? For him, the edge of a cliff wasn't danger, it was a stage. Every stunt was a dance with gravity. A reckless game he thought he could always win, flirting with danger as though it were a second skin. Today, though, his luck eventually ran out. A misstep, a stumble, and in a flash, he plummeted over the side. The fall was unforgiving, branches scratching at him as he crashed into the thick bush below. Miraculously, he survived, shaken, but alive. The cliff that had felt like a stage had nearly been his grave. What drives someone to risk life for adrenaline? Would you have the guts to try a stunt where one miscalculation and it's game over? And will he go back to that cliff again? He was trudging cautiously with his friend on the thin mountain trail when, in an instant, his foot came out from under him. One moment, he was on the trail. The next, he was over, falling down the cliffside. Just as it looked like he would fall to the rocky base, the trees broke his fall, branches arresting his move toward the ground. His friend's frantic calls echoed in the mountains as he clung, shaken but alive. What if there hadn't been all those trees? Would there have been a chance of survival? Would you still hike such dangerous trails after witnessing something like this? And do you think luck played a part, or something more? He set out to demonstrate his courage, spending the night in a haunted mansion that all warned him against. First, quietness, broken windows, creaking floorboards, and the cold wind of the evening. But as he settled, about to fall asleep, the mood shifted. A shape began to materialize in the corner, tall, white, ghostly outline glaring straight at him. Its vacant eyes glowed with a faint light, and the room chilled immediately. Afraid, he sprang out of his bed, pounding heart, wanting to escape. What did he see that evening? A haunted spirit or his own wild imagination? Would you sleep in the house? And what if the ghost rode home with him? Sometimes walls don't hold secrets. They hold the dead. He was at home filming offhand when the camera picked up something strange, a surreal movement in the corner of the room. He didn't think twice until he headed upstairs and realized he wasn't alone. A shadowy figure lurked behind him, following his every step. Then, out of the blue, a door closed seconds before creaking open on its own. From the opening, something began to peer out, its shape barely distinguishable, its presence heavy in the air. What do you think the shadow was? A demon, a ghost, or something far worse? Would you have stayed to confront it or left the house immediately? And what if it wasn't just waiting, but watching? Sometimes the most terrifying intruder isn't flesh and blood, it's already in your home. He broke into the empty home, the silence and dust thick in the air, when he saw something.
Bismillah. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي الغيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا 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 إله إلا الله.
In the dim light, a goat seemed to be moving while standing still. His heart raced as the head of the goat shifted slightly, its body trembling as if it were alive. Horror gripped him, but curiosity pulled him closer. Step by step, the movement stopped. And to his shock, it was not alive at all. It was nothing more than an old, tattered teddy goat lying there as though it had been left there deliberately. But what was making it move? A breeze trick? Ghost energy? Or something even stranger? If you'd been in his shoes, would you have had the guts to touch it or run before it moved again? It was around 1 a.m., the dead of night, when he noticed a suspicious motion outside his house. He first thought that it was the wind, or maybe an animal. But curiosity got the better of him, and he stepped closer to the window.
It's on me. Come on, see. What's that?
To his greatest surprise, hovering in the air was a ghostly figure, its form pale, its presence cold. Suddenly, it began to float towards him, inch by inch, as if it knew he was looking. Horror ran through his veins. He screamed, shut the door, and hoped it would not follow. What do you think that was? A troubled spirit, or something darker? And if you were he, would you have had the nerve to keep on looking? Not every shadow belongs to the living. The dashcam recorded it all, a normal drive along a serene road, trees flanking both sides, nothing unusual. And then, without warning, this ginormous bear came careening across the road, smashing into the side with sheer force. The driver gripped the steering wheel for dear life, his heart racing, but did not break. He continued, the car pressing ahead until the bear backed away. But what if he just stopped there? What do you think would have happened? Might the bear have busted in or something worse? What made the attack happen in the first place? Was it the sound of the motor, the odor of food inside, or pure territorial instinct? Would you keep driving on or lock up in fear as the monster attacked? What began as a peaceful afternoon under the beauty of a Utah waterfall nearly turned into tragedy. Without warning, large boulders sheared off and fell into the pool, narrowly missing 2 children by a matter of inches. Only seconds before, they were laughing and playing, unaware of the danger looming above them. The impact sent waves and chaos through everyone who was nearby, changing peacefulness to panic in a matter of seconds. Isn't it frightening how quickly the serenity of nature can turn into a disaster? And what would you do if you saw disaster land exactly where you were standing? Sometimes survival is measured in inches. The mountains can be tranquil, but they can also roar without notice. What was meant to be a dreamy honeymoon adventure quickly turned into chaos. 2 trekkers on Mount Etna found themselves caught in an eruption. The ground trembled without notice, and the volcano burst with massive clouds of ash and scorching pyroclastic flow down the mountain's side. There were also panicked hikers fleeing for their lives, the lovely trail now an infernal path of retreat.
Kanona. Wow, dit is wel heel heftig. Man, dit is niet normaal.
No one was hurt, thankfully, but the terror in their faces spoke volumes. Can you imagine being trapped on that mountain with fire chasing you? Would you freeze in shock or run until your legs couldn't move you anymore? Nature's beauty can turn to terror in the blink of an eye. What was to be a fun trek quickly turned into a mud-covered disaster. These 2 ladies set out on a dangerous expedition on a rainy day without knowing what they were in for. The path instantly turned into nothing but gooey, slippery mud. One got stuck, hysterically laughing as she tried to free herself. Her friend reached out to help, but instead fell and slid straight down the muddy hill. What was supposed to be a peaceful walk became a silly, dirty struggle they'll never forget. Have you ever had a trip go awry in such a quirky way? Would you laugh it off and continue or quit right there in the mud? It began as an innocent family stroll that turned into an icy memory they'll never forget. The woods were still, the trees motionless, until one of the kids froze, pointing at the trees. Something was staring back at them. Its shape was hard to make out, but its existence was certain. Trembling hands grabbed their camera and pressed record. What they captured continues to leave things to this day. Was it a beast, an ill shadow, a vision, or something worse? If you were present, would you go in and attempt to discover the answer? Or would you leave immediately? And what do you think was standing by watching them that day? The most frightening things are the things that won't turn away. He entered the haunted house with nothing but his hunting gear, thinking it was another adventure. But then things changed. Strange sounds resonated from everywhere, doors slammed shut on their own, and shadows dispersed on the walls. His heart pounding, fear gripping him tighter with every step.
يا جماعة ما تلاحظون ان هذه كلها تتحرك كل هذه كلها بسم الله لا اله الا الله اعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا 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 لا, لا يا جماعة لا 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 يا جماعة أنا ماني قادر من ريحة الكلب والله العظيم أنتم عزكم الله. خلاص. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا 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 والله العظيم ماني قادر من الريحة يا جماعة. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب. لا إله إلا الله.
Was he alone? Or was someone waiting for him in the shadows? What do you do if you find yourself trapped in such a situation? Do you hide, flee, or confront the unknown? In haunted places, it's not the silence you fear, it's what breaks it. His head twitched, trying to track the whispers that traveled the air in the haunted house. Every corner pulsed, every shadow lived. And then, he froze. The door creaked open, and there was two glowing, unnatural eyes trained straight on him. His chest tightened. Trick of the mind or something far more sinister? Demon pants, staring unblinking, as if waiting for him to make the first move. What would you do if you were directly in front of something non-human? Would you scream, run away, or attempt to fight it? This family was walking along the forest trail, kids laughing, parents inhaling the crisp pea air, when suddenly, all movement stopped. One of the children was motionless, pointing down the path. Out of the bushes, a leopard came onto the trail. Still, muscles tense, looking at them. The forest that had felt so secure just minutes earlier now felt like a trap, each passing second feeling like an eternity. The family held its breath, hearts pounding, unsure whether to move forward or remain frozen under its piercing gaze. What would you do if a predator blocked your path, stood your ground, or risked running? Do you think the leopard was hungry, curious, or protecting its territory? Sometimes the wild reminds us we are not the top of the food chain. The mountains are beautiful, but beauty is a deceitful thing. What started as a tranquil glacier trek had turned into a nightmare within the blink of an eye. This mountaineer, trekking through the snowy hill, lost his balance quite suddenly. Within a split second, he was sliding down the icy slope with no control over his move, his life flashing before his eyes. Just when hope was going to be doused, he was yanked to a stop by a sharp rock. His heart was racing as the quietness of the snowy landscape enveloped him. Suppose the boulder had not been there. Might he have survived the deadly drop underground? Would you ever risk going out alone into such savage country? Nature doesn't forgive mistakes. It simply reminds us who's in control. The woods are never silent. Sometimes they watch. This guy was enjoying a quiet night hike when suddenly an arrow struck the tree right beside him. With his heart pounding, he took off, only to hear another whistle through the darkness, landing dangerously close. The quiet night had turned into something awful. Someone or something was hunting him. Who is hiding in the darkness shooting those arrows? Is it a man or something far more sinister guarding the woods? Would you run further into the forest or stand your ground if it were you? And most of all, why is he being stalked to begin with? Sometimes in the dark woods, predators don't always have claws. Sometimes they aim. It was a usual quiet afternoon when this girl decided to go for a walk in her mom's backyard. Suddenly, she noticed something unusual, a tiny hole in the ground. Out of curiosity, she stuck her phone in it with the flashlight on. And what she discovered was stunning. An underground cave room-sized, 4 corners and walls that appeared to be carved as done intentionally. But here's the question. Who did it, and why would anyone create a hidden room beneath a backyard? Was it a secret hideout at one time? A bunker no one recalled? Or something sinister that history tried to cover up? If you found something like that, would you go in or seal it forever again? It was supposed to be a normal forest drive, but for this biker, it might have been his last. Deep in the forest, he heard a cave with strange sounds coming from within. Curiosity pulled him closer, but fear stopped him from going in. He turned back and tossed something into the darkness, only to have it tossed back towards him. That's when fear got the better of him.
Bro, is that my fork? What? Hello?
No.
It's like a trail just leading me. That was a bone I just broke. Why is that?
Help.
Hello? What the hell? Bro, I don't care about my bike. Hello? Is anybody there? I don't know, dude. Am I just hearing things? Hello? What the Yep, nope, I'm good. Not the way I wanted to go. Oh, I gotta get back to my bike. Crap.
And he ran as fast as his legs could carry him, running for his life. But what was in the cave, you ask? A skinwalker, maybe? Something otherworldly? Or the woods having a joke played on no man can ever decipher? Would you go in if you were me, or walk away for good? Not every cave contains shad. Some contain secrets it's best to leave unsaid. Driving alone in the woods at night is creepy enough. But imagine this. Headlights on the trees, and suddenly something appears on the road. It resembles a butt with a pig's snout. Not quite human, not quite beast. The man in the driver's seat bristled, gripping the steering wheel tighter. His racing heart didn't dare to go to make a move, just fixated as this strange creature stood between him and the darkness, staring right back at him. But what did he actually see? Was it a new creature, a shifter, or something worse? If you were him, alone, in the dark of night, would you stay in the car, drive on through, or risk getting out? Not all monsters are mythical. Some sneak up behind us when we least expect them. Brian, a seasoned paranormal explorer, decided to spend the night near an abandoned cemetery on the outskirts of Amsterdam, an eerie place locals whispered about, known only as the House of Question. As he wandered between the tangled weeds and forgotten headstones, his EMF reader began spiking wildly.
I got really strong hits. I got a word, and it said deem. I'm not sure what it means by deem. But I had a couple strong hits on the EMF reader right there for a moment. I'm going to step in here. Not at the tombstone, though. But I do get the sense, I don't know how to describe it. It's not necessarily a foreboding, but like of loss and regret.
Beyond that stretch of the cemetery was heavy construction and unsettling silence. But the urge to press forward grew stronger. The deeper he went, the air seemed to shift. He stopped at a weathered grave.
Yes, definitely here in this path.
You're
and
being followed.
I'm being followed. That's what I just got on the Spirit app. And you know, I was thinking to myself as I was walking through here, I had the feeling of a cold spot. Well, this one's 1952. So that's not that old, if you ask me, as far as... So I'm going to try and find out when this cemetery was finally abandoned.
Chills ran through him. Legends claimed the cries of children echoed here, and suddenly it felt far too real. Then came the presence, a strange heaviness at his back. Brian turned, and there he was, an old man, pale and silent, lingering just out of reach.
Really incredible trees, and they've made such a beautiful park here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I just got crazy chills. Crazy chills. Crazy chills. What did you just do? Did you touch me? Nothing. You just touched me? Was that you? Please don't do that again. That was not pleasant. I got a burning on the back of my neck right now. Okay, if that was you, please do not touch me again in that way. Oh man, I have to check when I get home. Man, this is crazy.
Every time Brian shifted his path, the man appeared again, watching him. No words, no movement, just that relentless, unsettling stare. He finally left the cemetery, but the feeling never lifted. That silent figure, it wasn't just in the cemetery anymore. This person was out in the South African bush, celebrating a birthday dinner on October 2nd. Picture this, a magical outdoor setup, just trees, lantern light, and the sound of nature. Everything felt peaceful, until this person looked back at a photo from that night. At first glance, it seemed like a normal shot of friends around the dinner table, but then they spotted something. At the far end of the table stood a translucent figure, glowing, see-through. And the weirdest part? No one remembers anyone standing there when the picture was taken. No filters, no editing, straight from the phone, with only a few emojis covering faces for privacy. So now the question is, who or what was captured that night? Was it a ghost, or is there a logical explanation hiding in plain sight? A peaceful walk turned into a nightmare when a woman walker plunged off the trail, clung to the edge ging for her life to the edge.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I got her by the foot. Oh, thank you so much. I can't pull up. No, Mom, it's gonna be okay. Thank you.
No, use your feet. Get back up here. You got this.
Okay, let me.
No, I'm not letting you go.
I got your other hand. Can you push your feet off? That's what I'm trying.
I'm gonna try to get under your armpit here. Ready?
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a big hoist here. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God. Okay.
You all right?
I'm fine, thank you.
Her only lifeline, her one-armed daughter, gritting her teeth to hold her on. The fear in both their faces was icy seconds from disaster. And then, out of nowhere, a man running the same course appeared and yanked her back onto the trail, converting catastrophic failure into a miracle. What would you have done then? Could you have waited, or would you panic? Was it fate that the man arrived at the correct time? On July 2nd, 2023, a solo camper from Ireland set up his tent for a peaceful night in the Galtee Mountains. After dinner and sunset, he settled into his tent, ready to sleep. But around 10 p.m., things took a strange turn.
That's it. I'm gonna get some sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. Good night. I know I'm not in focus, but I can hear two men talking. I have no idea what they're doing. Do I go out? I have no idea. I don't know if I should go out or not.
Moments later, the voices faded, and an eerie silence fell over the mountain. Then he spotted them, two men making their way down the slope.
There's two men coming down the mountain. There's no way they haven't seen the tent, because when I was coming down, all the guy lines and everything were just lit up because they're all reflective. So they've definitely seen the tent. And obviously I had my lights on inside here. It was only when I heard them talking that I shut everything off. So hopefully they just carry on and finish their night hike or whatever they're doing.
His tent was impossible to miss. The reflective guy lines and the glow of his lantern made it stand out in the darkness. He quickly killed the lights, hoping they'd just pass by on a late-night hike. Not daring to unzip the tent, he stayed completely still. Eventually, he saw the men again, this time moving along a steep, off-trail ridge in total darkness. He never figured out what they were doing, but the encounter left him uneasy. He made it through the night unharmed, yet one question still lingers. What were those men really doing in the mountains at that hour? September 23rd, 2020, filmmaker Master Hughes was deep in a remote mountain forest, miles away from civilization. The woods were silent, the trees thick, when he suddenly spotted movement in the distance, a dark figure slipping between the trees.
I've got my little light jacket on, but I'm seeing movement in the woods. I can't tell what it is. It's really big, and it appears to be very dark in color. We're going to try to ease up there to it and see if we can get a picture.
The next day, Hughes returned to the same trail, and what he found was chilling.
And we're up here in the mountains shooting a film. And yesterday we were coming up this trail, and I heard it woof, and couldn't see anything. But as we crossed over the next hump in this trail, this is what we found.
Pressed into the dirt, just beyond a ridge, was a fresh bear print.
Now, for those of you to know, that is a bear print. And so apparently he was on the trail just above us and we couldn't see him because of the humps in the trail and everything, these breaks. So anyway, that's some of the risk you take when you're out in the middle of nowhere shooting a nature video or some other type of film out in the middle of nowhere. You got to be careful.
It was a sobering reminder of the risk that comes with venturing into the wilderness. Out there, silence can be deceiving, and danger can be only a few steps away without you even realizing it. That bear had been dangerously close the entire time. On July 27th, 2025, Adam and Ryan from Paranormal Essex set out to capture daytime footage inside a historic World War I fort in Essex, a place long whispered to be guarded by the restless spirit of a soldier. As Adam ducked behind a wall to prank Ryan, the silence of the tunnels was broken by the crunch of dry leaves under heavy footsteps. Then came another set. The steps stopped directly beside him, but no one was there. Confused, Adam looked up only to spot Ryan far off in the distance, nowhere near the entrance. With leaves carpeting the ground, no one could move without being heard.
Hooray! Where'd he go? What? Ryan? Ryan? Fuck off! No way! Where was you? No fucking way. I'll just come over the hedge of that. Come down, tried to scare ya. Could hear footsteps, bruv, I swear to God, yeah? And I thought it was you walking towards me, yeah? You watching me? Why the fuck am I so zoomed in? Yeah? What? heard footsteps of you walking towards me. I thought it was you. I jumped out, went, bah, and you weren't there.
The chilling question lingered in their minds. Had they just crossed paths with a soldier who still protects the fort from something darker? On August 5th, 2025, Andrew Clifton was out for a quiet walk with his dog in Malvern Hills, Western England, casually filming in slow motion on his phone. "Freddy, steady," he muttered as his pup trotted along. But later, as he replayed the footage, something strange caught his eye. A mysterious object streaking across the frame. It moved far too fast to be pinned down, and its unusual height and flight path ruled out simple explanations like an arrow. To this day, its origin remains a mystery. No one can explain what Andrew captured. While hiking deep into the woods, something strange appeared nailed to a tree, and it instantly gave chills. It wasn't a warning sign, or a map, or even some random carving. Instead, it was a piece of cardboard, written in thick black marker, with a message that felt more like a desperate cry for help. It read, "Why did you steal my shoes? Now I have no shoes, and now my feet hurt and bleed. I am poor. Leave money. I watches you." At first, it almost sounded like a joke, but the more the word sank in, the scarier it became. Imagine being miles into the forest, surrounded by silence, and stumbling across a note like this. Someone out there claimed their shoes were stolen, their feet were bleeding, and, most chilling of all, they were watching. The handwriting was uneven, almost frantic, as if the writer was angry, scared, or maybe both. Some hikers would probably laugh it off and keep moving, but others might feel that icy thought creep in. What if the person really is hiding out here, waiting for someone to pass by? So now the real question is, if you were hiking and found a sign like this, would you keep going deeper into the trail, or would you turn back before whoever wrote it showed up? A Reddit user shared a chilling encounter after wandering down a secluded trail. At first glance, he froze. On the ground ahead was a shape that looked disturbingly like a body. There was no odor, but the outline was so human, it sent a rush of dread through him. Summoning the courage to get closer, he discovered it wasn't a corpse at all, but an abandoned camp. The strange part? It wasn't the usual clutter of tarps and clothing, only children's blankets and stuffed animals scattered around. One blanket was even tightly wrapped around several toys, almost as if someone had tucked them in. That's when he noticed a truck parked nearby, and suddenly the whole setup felt too intentional to dismiss. Even knowing it wasn't a body, the eerie scene stuck with him long after. Alone in the depths of a remote forest, a camper was jolted awake in the dead of night by unsettling noises cutting through the silence. At first, he brushed it off as some wild animal passing nearby, but the sounds didn't fade. They grew louder, closer, and seemed to echo from every direction. With the forest swallowed in pitch-black darkness and no soul for miles, an unnerving truth settled in. He was utterly alone. He stayed inside his tent until sunrise, restless and wide awake. To this day, whatever stalked the forest that night remains a chilling mystery. While hiking deep in the woods, one Reddit user stumbled across something chilling on the side of a tree. At first glance, it looked like the aftermath of a giant predator's attack, and the sight alone was enough to send shivers down his spine. But when he shared the discovery online, the explanation turned out to be far less monstrous, yet still undeniably eerie. According to experts, raptors can sometimes die suddenly, their powerful tendons locking their claws in place as if frozen in time. In this case, the rest of the bird had already been scavenged, leaving only its legs clinging tightly to the trunk. The result? A haunting reminder of nature's brutal reality. A Reddit user was out for a casual walk with their partner when they snapped a quick picture to show just how far behind they were. At first glance, nothing seemed strange, just an ordinary shot. But when they looked closer later, something chilling stood out. In the photo, a figure appears ahead of them on the path. The odd part? The partner swears no one was there, and the user doesn't remember seeing a soul either. The way the light reflects off its hair and arm makes it look completely solid, undeniably real. Yet at the time, the path was empty. To this day, they have no explanation for who or what was captured in that frame. A hiker strolling down a quiet trail thought he'd struck gold. A rare shot of a fox and a deer sharing the same frame. But when he looked closer, he realized something far stranger had slipped into the background. Faint and distant, a tall, hairy figure stood among the trees. It didn't look quite human. Yet it wasn't clearly anything else either. Too far away to confirm, the eerie sight left the photo shrouded in mystery. While hiking through a rocky trail with another person's son, something unexpected appeared wedged between the stones, and it stopped everyone cold. At first, it just looked like a pale, round rock. But as another person's son leaned closer, the truth revealed itself. It wasn't a rock at all. It was a skull. The way it sat between the boulders made it feel even creepier, like it had been deliberately placed there, hidden away where only the brave, or the unlucky, might find it. The hollow eye sockets stared back, and the cracks across the bone almost looked like they were whispering a story that had been long forgotten. Imagine being out in the open air, enjoying a normal day on the trail, only to stumble across something like this. One moment, it's just hiking and laughter, and the next, you're staring into the remains of what once was a living person. For a 9-year-old, it must have been both fascinating and terrifying all at once. A man was on his way to a quiet village for the night when he noticed a figure standing by the roadside. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary local, but the closer he drove, the stranger it felt. A chill ran down his spine, and instinct screamed at him to leave. Slamming his foot on the gas, he tore down the road, heart hammering, desperate to put as much distance between himself and that figure as possible. 4 friends huddled together for a quick selfie, laughing as the camera clicked. But later, when they scrolled back through the photos, their smiles quickly faded. Behind them stood a woman in a frilly dress, her long black hair cascading over her shoulders. Her face, however, was nothing but a strange blur, impossible to recognize. None of them remembered seeing her that night, and when they asked around, not a single guest admitted to knowing who she was. While fly fishing near an old cemetery in England, a man noticed something odd drifting in the river. A small, weathered doll. Curious, he reached out and pulled it from the water, snapping a few photos for a closer look. The moment he held it, an uneasy feeling crept over him. Finding a doll this close to a graveyard felt wrong, almost sinister. His mind immediately spiraled to curses, dark rituals, and black magic. One thing was certain, taking it home wasn't an option. In fact, even touching it might have been a mistake.
We came across this chilling video from Grizzly Gaz, a YouTuber well known for his scary camping encounters. But this one felt different. He begins telling the dark legend of Lady Sybil of Burnshaw Tower, a woman who made a pact with the devil himself, gaining powers to shapeshift, but was cursed to walk the earth even after death. Can you imagine camping in the very woods where her spirit is said to roam? The legend takes a darker turn. Lady Sybil, caught as a cat, had her paw severed. Even though she magically reattached it, her soul was forever bound to the hills and forests. Things get unsettling. While setting up his tent, Grizzly Gaz hears what sounds like gunshots in the distance. The silence of the forest breaks, and suddenly, he isn't sure if he's alone.
Give the video a like as well. Right. I'm going to get in my tent now and get set up for night. Alright, mate.
Don't know if I just caught that, but I'm pretty sure I've just heard gunshots. And they shot me. Oh, fucking hell, you farted. Or is that your breath? Chill out.
The mist grows heavy. He keeps seeing flashes of eyes shine in the darkness. Or was it a torch? Something seemed to be following him.
Can't even see any paths or out, man, because of this mist. I keep seeing flashes of light, like eye shine, but that corner of my eye. Down there, look.
Finally, the fear hits hardest. Between the gunshots, the mist, and the glowing eyes in the distance, Gaz admits it's not worth the risk.
Really want to know what that shine was down there. Whether it's a torch. Like I say, I've heard gunshots earlier, so... Fuck. I don't want to be getting shot, do I? And I especially don't want to be running in to the landowner again, because he will not be happy that I'm back in here.
His gut tells him to get out before something truly terrifying happens. And honestly, can you blame him? Things take a darker turn in the next clip I came across. This video was shared by Action Adventure Clips, a page well known for thrilling adventure videos and short action-packed clips. They step into the cave, water echoes through the darkness, louder than ever before, and a salamander greets them, as if warning them to turn back. The deeper they go, the colder it becomes. The passage tightens, pressing in like the cave itself doesn't want them there. They hear the roar of a waterfall, beautiful, but masking something sinister. As they go deeper, a strange odor fills the air. Gas, toxic. Then panic erupts as they start shouting,
Twice as bad. It's a cave emergency. Oh, the gas is coming. Oh.
The group scrambles as the fumes thicken. As they were running away from that one, they ran straight into a dense pocket of poison. The lights dim, their voices grow frantic.
Oh, we ran into the gas. Oh, we hit a toxic pocket of gas. Dude, it's so gassy. We gotta get out of here. You're on the right path. Don't come up there. I can't breathe. We hit a pocket of bad gas. Bad air. Oh, dude, we hit a pocket. Dude, they caught up to us.
As if that was not enough, they're trapped in the fog, lungs burning, unsure where the exit is. Some claim they saw shapes moving inside the haze. They finally find a way out, but racing footsteps echo behind them, as if something else made it out too. Would you dare go into that cave, knowing it almost became their tomb? From eerie to downright disturbing, here's what came next. Jasko is a YouTuber who creates videos. This time, he went to a haunted cabin. What was supposed to be a fun haunted cabin video turned into a nightmare. Because deep in the woods, miles from civilization, someone else was there. No service, no power, just them and a stranger. They learn why the cabin is called the Skinwalker cabin. People who've stayed here report screams, voices mimicking loved ones, even shadowy figures outside their windows. Panic sets in as they hear a loud, blood-curdling scream in the backyard of the cabin. They freeze. Was it human? Animal? Or worse, something in between?
Channel if you have not already. That was a knock on the door. Hello?
Okay.
Oh my
Não foi
god.
ela em mim.
The only thing I have in me is about to come out how scared I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how terrifying this place is. I guess since we're here, let's show you.
While investigating the skull, he hears a whistle right in his ear, though his friend is nowhere near him.
You know, whole thing, because it smells really bad right here. What the f? Chris? What? That wasn't you?
Oh no, I'm right here.
Bro, something like whistled in my ear. On God, like right next to me. Voice.
The camera catches it. Something unseen is toying with them. The night spirals. More screams, heavy knocks, voices through the spirit box saying, "My grave."
Huh, Skinwalkers? Can you mimic this noise?
They seek justice.
They seek justice? What? What? What the f, Chris? Oh my God!
Loud screams.
Oh my God, she just scared the shit out of me. Sorry. Go inside, go inside, go inside.
After some time, fear peaks. The sound of the metal gate slamming shut. It had been tied open. Someone untied it. Now they're trapped inside the forest. And finally, he admitted that in his 6 years of filming, he had never experienced something as terrifying as this.
Something isn't right here. Let me backtrack about 30 minutes. We stopped recording. I don't even know what the hell the last thing we recorded was. And Chris and I decided that we were going to go outside together with our flashlights and just see if it was safe. Do a little perimeter check because we wanted to do things together outside. But when we went out there, we heard what sounded like metal. Something very loud in the distance. Metal. And I don't even want to fucking think about it because it's bringing fucking tears to my eyes just thinking about it. The gate to this cabin is a very large metal gate. And I truly fear that what we heard was the metal gate closing, slamming shut. And now one thing I'll tell you is that that gate was open and it was tied to a tree. So the only way it would have closed is if someone untied it.
Would you have lasted the night inside the Skinwalker cabin? Just when you think it can't get stranger, wait until you see this. This story comes from Buska Sobernatural on YouTube. They returned to the abandoned house, cameras rolling. Almost immediately, the air felt wrong. Batteries drained overnight, and a chill crept in. Dogs that usually barked were silent tonight. Suddenly, movement in the shadows. A figure darted across the darkened rooms, and the temperature dropped like ice.
Só hoje a gente vem um pouco mais cedo. Cara, fique esperto, velho. Verdade. Fique esperto, vocês viram o que a gente viu, né? Ó, silêncio, silêncio. Tô vendo alguma coisa dentro da casa. Olha lá, olha lá. Vocês viram isso, velho? Cara, vocês viram isso, velho?
Que isso? Cara, tu notou como ficou frio agora do nada?
Olha lá. Olha lá. Vocês viram isso, velho? Cara, vocês...
While inside the building, a glass exploded across the floor. Shards flew toward them, forcing them back.
Tu filmou, será, Jefinho? Filmei. Cara, vamos entrar ali pra ver isso, cara. Ai, meu Deus, cara. Voa um vidro em mim aqui, cara. Voa um vidro em mim aqui, cara. Ô, cachorro. Cara, pra mim o barulho tá vindo lá de cima, eu acho, cara.
But what shattered the door glass when no one was near? Just a moment later, a heavy bear statue moved on its own, first shifting, then toppling as if shoved by invisible hands. The house came alive, doors slamming, tables sliding, the sound of footsteps above. Then chaos walls shook, windows blew open, and an unseen force tore the house apart. They ran, breathless, terrified. From eerie to downright disturbing, here's what came next. This video comes from Chamos on YouTube. They returned once again to the infamous doctor's house, a place where, every time they step inside, something darker seems to awaken. At first, the night felt quiet, too quiet. Then, they noticed it. Strange, blood-red graffiti smeared on the walls. But who wrote it, and why did it appear only now? Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the empty halls. Something unseen was moving around them. Then, chaos. Objects started falling, hitting the ground near them. A perfume bottle cap, furniture shaking. The tension grew unbearable.
Real, agora escutei. Mas, cara, caiu um negócio muito perto aqui, assim, ó.
Fica de olho aí, Jota. Onde que é, Jota? Ó, e o que foi isso?
Uma tampa de... Ah, tá, foi tudo que bateu ali. Tampa de perfume. Não, eu não bati aqui, pô.
Mano, tinha alguma coisa observando nós, deve ser ele, tá? O médico, aham.
Será que as entidades não estão aqui também?
And then it happened. The apparition appeared. A dark, human-like figure at the far end of the hallway. It flickered in and out, then vanished before their eyes. They ran, terrified, hearts pounding, knowing one thing: the doctor was still there, and he wanted them gone. Just like before, the next video captures something terrifying on camera. This video was uploaded by Morozov's fan on YouTube. Everything you're about to see was streamed live. On the night of the 19th, he entered a house he had just purchased. But this wasn't just any house. It was known to contain a demon. The former owners wanted to get rid of it, but he was determined to drive the evil out himself. At first, things were quiet, too quiet. Then, faint footsteps creaked across the stairs, but no one was there.
Did you hear those sounds? The creaking of the stairs, footsteps. These are not the sounds of the house. It is it. It was in the house right away. It does not appear here at night. It is here constantly.
Would you stay if you heard that, or would you already be gone? A shadow figure appeared in the stream, unnoticed until later. The deeper he went, the stronger it became.
Already on the 20th minute of the stream, a shadow was reported, but, unfortunately, neither the people watching the stream nor I noticed it.
Lights flickered, devices beeped, and a shadow passed right by the window. Then it happened. Using a radio transmitter, he finally made contact. A chilling voice hissed, "What do you need?"
I think she said what you need. I need a ritual statue. Where is it? This one just moved. I need a ritual statue. Where is it?
Soon after, tables moved on their own, cameras cut out, and the pressure in the room grew unbearable. And he kept demanding, "Demon, show yourself. Tell me your name." But the more he ordered, the angrier it became.
Two video cameras are turned off.
So I'll ask you this. If you were inside that house, and the darkness finally answered you, would you dare to keep talking, or would you run before it takes more than just your voice? The nightmare continues, and this time, it feels way too real. This video was originally filmed by Summit or Nothing. He sets out across Dartmoor, heading towards Sorton Tor. At first, everything feels calm. The autumn air, the fading ferns, the distant mist. But Dartmoor is not just any landscape. It's a place where legends breathe. Would you dare to hike into the unknown, knowing the land itself carries ghostly stories? Strange formations appear in the ground. The remains of an abandoned ice works from the 1800s. Imagine it. Water once frozen here, harvested in silence. But some say the echoes of that factory never left. At the top, silence consumes everything. No birds, no wind. Just emptiness. He stops, listening. Have you ever heard a silence so heavy it feels alive? Later in the tent, a legend is told. The story of Judge Jeffries, known as the Hanging Judge, is cursed to return as a black phantom pig. As the tale is spoken, grunts and snorts echo outside the tent. Horses, or something darker.
Here's another one. This one tonight is called Judge Jeffries and the Big Black Phantom Pig. George Jeffries, the first Baron Jeffries, was the English judge who became notorious for his harsh sentences after the Monmouth Rebellion in 1685. His severe sentencing for even minor indiscretions earned him a black reputation. In his travels as a judge on the Western Circuit, he held court in many Devonshire towns, and legend suggests he was at his judicial best, or worst, at Lidford. It's just over there. He must have had a great impact on the area. So the story goes, he haunts the ancient borough in the guise of a big black pig. It's not clear how often this phantom porker has been seen, or why indeed it should automatically be assumed it was the dreadful judge himself.
Hours pass, but strange noises linger. Shadows press against the thin walls of the tent. He tries to sleep. But what if Dartmoor's legends aren't just stories? What if, somewhere out there in the mist, something still watches? You thought the last story was bad. The next one is downright terrifying. This video was posted by Hike Slam. He set out to spend the night deep in the Virginia woods, the day before Thanksgiving. At first, everything seemed peaceful. The trail, the cold air, the sound of the river. Not long after, things turned strange. Scattered trash along the trail, beer cans, broken plastic, and writing scratched onto garbage bags. Lyrics. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Who leaves messages like this? A hiker or something else? Then, the discovery no camper ever wants to find. A freshly killed duck, lying next to a long note. Bone dry, as if it had just been placed there.
And there's a dead duck here. A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. All right.
The fire from a nearby camp still burned. 2 women appeared on the trail, frightened. They asked if he had seen the man leaving notes. They swore he was still camped by the river, sitting on a rock, fire glowing. They were terrified to pass his site alone. What would you do? Keep going or turn back before it's too late?